What's going on, guys? Good evening. Still Sunday. If you saw my previous video, that was this morning. We've been going at it all day and got another flash sheet. And so we're getting ready to kind of wrap this one up. So I thought I'd go ahead and start recording. Right now, I'm blending in this burnt sienna with this yellow on this tiger. So real quick, just an update here on everything that we have so far. It's a set of classics that I'm working on. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm working with what I would consider crimson, canary yellow, Payne's gray, and olive green. I'm using P.H. Martin's Black Star for the line work and shading, a B6 nib for the line work. I'm using Daniel Smith fine watercolors for the color. And I'm using Escoda fine watercolor brushes. And I just have a cup of water. No spit over here anymore. I used to like using tea or coffee for my background stain, and then using spit to blend everything, because it felt like, you know, a real rugged tattooer thing to do. And not only did it take way longer, the coffee stain just doesn't look as good as an ink stain. Doesn't last as, it's not as light fast. And spit just is not the cleanest medium. It's slow. Also, you know, I would just rather use a cup of water. I got what I needed out of using the tea and spit method in my work. And yeah, I don't feel the need to use those materials anymore. So now I just have a cup of water, and I really like using these tube watercolors. I like that they're very easy to re-wet, and if I make a mistake, I can lift it off the page very easily, leaving a minimal stain. And the India inks just feel a little bit cheap. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's just the brand, the basic PH Martins. And don't get me wrong, I will be using those again in some other works that I've got planned, but for these sheets I wanted them to feel like fine art. And so using fine art materials just made the most sense to me. And so I really like the way this page is coming together. I think I really had a bit of a breakthrough here with what I'm trying to get to in my work, the way I want my work to look. You know, I wouldn't say that this is it, but I've definitely had a breakthrough here working on this sheet specifically. Oh yeah, I really like the way that's coming along. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend out this yellow now, and you know, gotta remember that the underside of a tiger is white, so that's why I left a lot of this open white, and then I plan on going back in with a Payne's gray just in a couple of areas to really emphasize that, you know, it's the underside of the tiger. But I'm working really loose, way more loose than I did in the first few sheets in this set. And I'm liking how comfortable I'm feeling on this sheet. Which is refreshing because I felt like I overdid it in the last sheet that I did, and I wasn't too satisfied with the results. But this kind of feels like it's making up for that. Just nice and loose, but intentional. You know, I want it to look handmade, but I don't want it to look poorly made. I think a lot of people think that, and I think that's part of the reason why AI art is becoming so popular for a lot of people, is because we've equated human made with poorly made. It's like we have decent ideas, but we think that we're not really capable of executing them well. And that's too bad. It's too bad that a lot of people don't see that you can if you just take your time to learn how to do that. But we prefer convenience over true fulfillment and expansion. And we also, alongside equating human made with poorly made, is we think that being able to see marks means it's poorly made. If it's not perfectly smooth, and if it doesn't look like it was printed, a lot of people take that as it's not good. But I think that as we start getting increasingly tired of AI art, or at least less and less impressed by it, because it's just so perfect, we'll start appreciating the fact that stuff like this looks good, and then you get up close and you see that maybe I accidentally got over the line in a couple of spots, or there's some color that went over the black that's still there, you know. Those are the little things that get appreciated more, because it still can be a beautiful work of art from a distance, and even up close. The marks aren't mistakes. It's like handwriting. It's like a deeper glimpse into the artist. So that's why I've eased up on my control issues in my painting, because I don't want to be even remotely close to something AI could do. But I also don't want to be just another what should I say? Just another contemporary artist, I suppose. I think a lot of contemporary artists have a tendency to evade the traditional schooling of the classical ways of art making. And that's something that's very important to me. So I don't really know what tangent I was going on, but yeah, so, okay. Back to reality, I suppose. That's all the yellow, I think, is good on there. Maybe a little yellow in the tiger's eye here could be a good idea. So just gonna do that real quick. Just a little bit of yellow. That's all it needed, really. Okay, so last color on this sheet is going to be this Payne's Gray, also known as Kyanite Genuine. They do have a Payne's Gray, by the way. I just thought it was a little too gray and a little too dark for what I was going for. This has like, I guess it's made from a mineral Yeah, it's genuine kyanite. So it has a sparkle to it, which is kind of nice too. I just, part of me is excited to see these in like 10 years. Because I know I'm gonna be like, you know, I'm gonna see all the things that I would do differently, but at the same time, I feel like these are just gonna age well. They're just gonna look cooler as time goes on, because it's like, I don't know. I'm really enjoying making these, and it's making me think about all kinds of like random future scenarios and stuff. So, okay. We've got the kyanite, the Payne's Gray ready here. So I think I'm just gonna put it in the legs. I was thinking in the feet, but as well, but no, I think we're just gonna go something like this. Shit. That was still wet. I put my hand all over it. See, that's kind of what I mean. Stuff like that. Now I gotta go in and fix it. Add a little bit more red. And there we go. That's human made right there. That was a moment in human history now inputted into that page as information. No one may ever really know that just happened, but now it's recorded. I think that's kind of cool. Okay. And part of the reason I'm doing this is, damn, I did it again. That's crazy. Wow. It is a little bit late. It's like, I mean, it's not that late, but it's pretty late for me. So, oh well. You just gotta be a little bit more mindful of that. I'm thinking something like that. was the right decision doesn't matter. Because I'm gonna do all right. Pardon me. Completely forgot I was on camera just now. That's crazy. It's pretty late for me, like I said. A few bowls deep. I'm just kind of comfortable right now. All right, probably messed that up a little bit. And I keep forgetting I'm on camera. 23 minutes deep. Maybe that is fine. And we'll do the same over here, something like that. So whenever I'm painting flash, I try my best to imagine that I'm using a tattoo machine. So right now I'm kind of picturing myself using maybe a 7 curved mag, maybe a 9 curved. Probably working that corner of it. Okay. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm pretty satisfied with that. I'm wondering if I should put more blue anywhere else though. we'll leave it. Creates kind of an interesting, almost tribal looking shape. So right now I have no reference out or anything like that. I'm just winging it. I think I said in a previous video, I don't care if I make mistakes, really. I'm just genuinely enjoying this type of process. So whenever I go to do one of these designs as a tattoo, if for whatever reason I need to make any changes, I will. But as far as the painting process, I'm just going in. I'm just doing my thing and I'm really liking it. So yeah, I'm kind of just doing whatever here, and sometimes that puts me in a little bit of a predicament. Like right now, kind of not really knowing what to do. So I'm just keep going, power through it. I'm not sure if I should. I'm just gonna start kind of fading some of this out first. Get a better idea of what we got going on here. one reason why I took on this sort of challenge of painting a set of 12 sheets is because the artists that I look up to, they seem to be able to produce a lot of work really quickly, it seems. And I've realized that the reason they can do that is because they've made so much work throughout the years that they just know what they're doing. You know, their decision-making process is not as delayed as mine, or they naturally know what to do better because they've put in the work. And so the only way I'm going to be able to get to that level is if I put in the work also. And so I think taking on a project of this caliber really has upped my work ethic, and I mean, is for sure increasing my the number of finished works in my portfolio. So I think that's pretty cool. See, I'm debating on if I should make these blue or not. It's interesting, this Kyanite Genuine doesn't move on the paper as freely as, say, Burnt Sienna. I think it's interesting how the different colors have different properties. Like this yellow lays on pretty thick and opaque, actually, especially for a yellow. But this red goes on very transparent, and is actually so transparent it's a little bit hard to layer because you can see all the various levels of opacity from the brush strokes and stuff, and it's actually a little bit frustrating. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research on a better or a more opaque red to use. think I am going to do these very lightly with some of this kyanite. Just ever so slightly. And then we'll go in with the spit shading brush, even though it's just water. I always like to pull the color out to a certain point. You can kind of go down the line, pull it out, and then I'll wash my brush, go back in, and then pull again from wherever that ended. And kind of fade that out. And then if you have anything left over that you can still kind of see, then you can kind of dry your brush off and go back and push it back into the original area. Okay, cool. So bam, I think that's it for this sheet. Thank y'all for watching. I'll probably see you guys again tomorrow.